All right, good morning, good morning, good morning. It's day 3 of Vlogmas, and today we're gonna talk about why you are already equipped as a Gen Xer, 40 plus, whatever, why you're equipped to be able to do Vlogmas and start your YouTube channel and get your content creation game on. But first, we got HIT class, right? And so I'm gonna bring you along with my HIT class, and then we'll talk a little bit more about why you're already equipped to do Vlogmas and be a content creator, 40 plus, Gen X. Let's go. All right, that's a wrap. Class was good?
Hard.
You sweating?
Hard. Yeah. Hard.
All right, so we're gonna catch you back at the house, but I wanted to give you some insight of what I do on Tuesdays here at Crunch Fitness, but we'll catch up when I get back to the house.
9 a.m.
All right, we are back home from that great workout, that HIT training. I'm always excited to go work out in the mornings, especially leading a class, which I do every Tuesday. I get to lead my HIT training class, and so that was fun. I wanted to give you a little bit of behind the scenes of what I do in the mornings, as I shared yesterday and today. But we're going to go ahead and get into why I think you as a Gen Xer and you being 40 plus is a great thing when it comes to content creation and starting your YouTube channel. I was born in 1977, May of 1977, so on the latter part of the 70s decade. And because of that, you know, we as Gen Xers, as the 40 plus club, we have benefited from all of the advances and all of the things that, you know, many of the latter generations didn't get to experience. Let's think about it. So I primarily grew up in my adolescence years in the 80s. So at the turn of the decade, I was just 3 years old. So from 3 to 13 was when I was growing up in the 80s. And let's think about the 80s for a second. In the 80s, I mean, we played outside, right? We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have internet. We didn't have computers for the most part. They had not yet come into existence. And so we had to use our minds and our imaginations. We had books. We had encyclopedias. We had, you know, to be creative in our own right to create fun for ourselves. And I think that's a great benefit as a content creator, because you know what it's like before cell phones, before the internet, before computers. And I think that that is a great advantage because, you know, when I talk to some of the current generation of kids, they don't even know what to do without all of these electronics. They don't even know what to do without the internet. They don't know how to create fun for themselves without having all of this technology or phone in their hands. And we have the benefit of knowing what it was like before all of this technology came into existence. Growing up in the era that we did, we get to benefit from those stories. We get to benefit from those life lessons because we understand what it is or what it looks like without having all of these things. But we also have the opportunity and the story and the experience of seeing all of these things become something. You know, when we think about Facebook, when we think about a lot of these social media channels, many of these organizations and many of these businesses were started by who? Gen Xers. Gen Xers were coming of age when the internet was coming of age. We were the individuals who were being innovative to create these things because we were lacking certain things that we wanted to see, right? And so think about how Facebook was created. Facebook was created so that individuals on a particular college campus could connect with each other and understand and know what was going on that campus. And then it turned into a business. And so when I think about social media channels, one of the primary social media channels for us today as Gen Xers really is Facebook. All the other channels, all the other social media platforms came after Facebook, with the exception of MySpace. How many people remember MySpace? I'm raising my hand. Or Yahoo Chat or Instant Messenger. You know, all those things came to existence while we were growing up as adolescents and as teenagers. Cell phones. I can remember my very first cell phone. I think it was Singular Wireless. And I still have the same number. I still have the same number that I've had since college. Isn't that amazing? Singular Wireless. And so we have these experiences that the latter generations simply do not have. Even the millennials, you know, millennials really were born during the age of this heightened technology. And so we have just the benefit of all of these various experiences after the baby boomers as Gen Xers to really pull all that experience into our story, to pull all of that life into our story, to be able to offer to others. This is why I'm encouraging you that YouTube is the way to go. YouTube is something that is a tool for you to connect with all the individuals who want to learn and glean from your experiences, from your stories, from the things that you have done in life to help you to succeed. There's some great benefits to us being Gen Xers and 40 plus, and many of those benefits came from our ability to grow up in the 80s and the 90s. You know, one of those benefits, and I got my phone out so that I can remember all of the things that I jotted down, but one of the benefits is that we learn how to speak up for ourselves and learn how to communicate effectively with other individuals. We didn't have the social media networks and social media channels to hide behind, but we also, in speaking up for ourselves, had the opportunity to just to be fully authentic with individuals. You know, a lot of times when it comes to social media and being on these platforms, many people lack authenticity. Many people lack being real because they're always trying to show up for the gram or show out for the gram. Well, because when we grew up in the 80s and in the 90s, we were trying to be our authentic selves, that we were not necessarily showing up for the gram, but we were just showing up for ourselves. Now, yes, could we have gotten in the position of always wanting to impress other people? Absolutely. I don't think that ever goes away. But just showing up as yourself is so important, and we understand the importance of that. We also have the benefit of knowing that we had to develop presence and that we knew how to develop relationships and asking people out and having friend groups and different things like that. We didn't have this opportunity to be knowing people all across the world because we had access to social media. A lot of times it was just who we knew locally in our cities, in our communities. And so, yes, there's a great benefit to being able to make the world much smaller now that we have technology. But in our day, we got to know the people who were in our space, in our cities, in our neighborhoods. Like I said, we got outside and we played in the backyard. We played in the streets. And one thing that was in common is that when those street lights came on, what did you have to do? You better head to the house. And so that's a great benefit. And then confidence. Confidence was a trial and error situation that we had the opportunity to develop our confidence. One of the things that really helped me to develop confidence is when I decided to go away for college and really find more out about myself and really move my life in the direction that I wanted to move in. One of the things that many latter generations struggle with today is confidence, because they don't know what it's like to really create relationships that are real. And that can be a problem. But because you are a Gen Xer, because you are 40 plus, guess what you can do? You can really talk about it. You can really teach people on it. You can really share your story and help these latter generations to really fully understand what it means to build relationship with others without the technology. The technology only should enhance your life. It should not be your life. I think that's a good quote. The technology should only enhance your life. It shouldn't be your life. And so all of these things qualify you as someone who could be a great content creator, someone who should have a YouTube channel sharing all of these experiences and experience and expertise online, right? Because you know what it means to live this life. You know what it means to press beyond your various circumstances. You know what it means to stay above water until you get to the other end. You understand. You are the individuals who they're calling unc and auntie because they know you come with wisdom. Look, as a Gen Xer, look, you were raised in the real world. You know what it means to, come up against obstacles and press past those obstacles. We didn't have GPS. We learned how to use a map, or we learned how to, once the internet was around, we at least was able to use MapQuest and get directions and know when to turn and when to turn around. And so all these things we benefited from. We understand how to problem solve. Problem solving is a great tool to have that, or a great skill to have that many of the latter generations just don't have. Problem solving is good. We know how to negotiate. We as Gen Xers are creative with a cassette tape, right? We went from records. We understood what a record player was. We know what a cassette tape is. We know what a CD is. And now we're in this age of digital. But we know all of these things, and we know how to make it happen, whether we have the digital version or if we need to take the digital version and put it on a CD, and so we have all of these experiences that help make us who we really are. Gen X, it's time for us to stand up and stand out and create for ourselves what it is that we want, the life that we crave, the finances that we desire. And one of the ways to do that is through content creation and having your own YouTube so that you can start building your audience of people who really want to hear what it is that you have to say. So now you can dispel this whole myth that YouTube and content creation is for the young people. No, YouTube and content creation is for you, the Gen Xer, you, the 40 plus individual. You have what it takes. You have everything everything that you need. And so let's stop making the excuses and start getting on the path of creating what it is that you want, because YouTube is for you. So, Marquise, why are you encouraging us to get into content creation and start that YouTube channel? Because you have what it takes. You have 30 to 40 years of experience behind you that provides value to other people. I want to see the Gen Xers win. I want to see us financially free. I want to see us living life to the fullest. And I know how content creation and YouTube has really been beneficial for me. It's your time. It's your season. The time is now. And that's why I'm even doing Vlogmas, because I want to just show to you that I'm just showing up every day to be of encouragement to my generation, to my peers, letting them know it's possible, that you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have everything that you think you need to start. All you need to do is just start. Put one foot in front of the other, because this is a great platform and a great opportunity, a great season for you to get started. Here's all you need: one story, one small step, one lesson, one opportunity of success, and start sharing it. And so I just wanted to kind of share that today. Just continue to be encouragement and inspiration for you. If you haven't already done so, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if any of this is resonating with you. But also, I want to call to action for you to make a comment. If you grew up in the 80s and the 90s, what's one thing or one lesson that you've learned as an 80s or 90s baby that has carried you along the way, that you feel like has been very beneficial throughout your adult life? Make sure you leave that in the comments. But what I want you to know is that you have a story, you have a message, and YouTube and content creation is a way for you to get that message out. And so don't wait, don't hesitate. Let's get started. I'll be back with you tomorrow, sharing more on how to, get started with this journey of content creation and being someone of influence for the next generation or even for your peers. And so until next time, we'll talk to you later.